Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Okay, today, on behalf of my department, that is Curriculum Planning and Development Department, I would be sharing with you the new and modified EBSEX early years education that we have been deliberating upon for quite some time. And we have had the chance of, at Secretariat, we are continuously evolving things. And we are continuously researching the best practices which are prevalent in national and international models of early years. So it's always good to, and it's always challenging to bring about a change which is very effective for the young learners. Next, please. So agenda of today's session is to apprise you about the new modifications in early years education, what all changes we are bringing about in the preschool curriculum. Then what is the facilitation we are offering at EBSEC Secretariat for the schools and the teachers. So as I told you that we are continuously evolving things, and this is not a stagnant organization. और हम इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा चीज़ें ऐसी evolve करते हैं जो कि internationally prevalent हैं, effective हैं, evidence-based practices हैं. So there was an in-depth study conducted by the curriculum department, viewing all the national models in good private schools and international models of early years education. And that has led us to modify the existing EYE framework. Obviously, जो हमारा preschool का बना था जब 2005 में EBSEC Secretariat was established, तो उस वक्त भी हमने बहुत practices Montessori से और different international ways जो थे वो हमने अपने curriculum में डाले थे. But obviously अब चीजें change होती जा रही हैं, and then we have to get the best of best practices. So these E/E policy guidelines and modifications or recommendations have been approved by IGT&E, and these have been shared with the regions for necessary implementation. And in this respect, 2 letters were sent out to the regions, to the RDs and to the schools कि हम इसमें क्या changes कर रहे हैं, और आपके academic package में भी we have shared that. Next, please. Okay, so what is EBSEC's modified early years education framework? Already we have been following a very good model, but still we feel that we need to move ahead with certain steps to ensure individualized attention and support for each child. So इस पहला step हमारा ये है, और हमारी evaluation findings भी ये कहती हैं कि your classes are overcrowded. Teachers are overburdened because of the overpopulated strength of students. So preferably, हमने ये, और IGT has also approved this, and this has been sent out to the formations, that the strength should be curtailed to at least 25, not more than 25 to 30 students in a class. That would be an ideal strength for the teacher as well, and for the school, to foster the social and emotional development of the children and build their confidence. Then second step that we want the schools to implement is to redesign the classroom setup so that specified learning areas can be accommodated. Like 3 centers should be made available in the classrooms for the students, for the children, to learn and enhance their skills in the language and literacy domain, in the numeracy domain, and in the creative arts domain. Then frequent opportunities for experiential and hands-on learning inside and outside classroom environment may be provided. So इसके लिए हम भी आपको facilitate इस तरह से कर रहे हैं that we, in the SOWs, we have highlighted, we have proposed certain activities जो कि आपने बच्चों से ही करवानी हैं. इसके अलावा, apart from that, the teachers can also plan certain hands-on activities, And why do we call it experiential? Because we are giving opportunity to the child to experience and approach learning on their own. क्योंकि हमने बच्चों को rote learning से निकालना है. Unfortunately, what we were experiencing when we went out for evaluations, that actually the teacher is concentrating more on written work and less on skill development. And that is not our purpose of our curriculum. Next, please. So another recommendation that has been approved is that we have seen that the play area in all preschools need to be equipped with age-appropriate physical equipment to ensure students' physical development. So we have seen that all the time, most of the time, majority of the time, the children are sitting in the classroom and they have less opportunity because there is very less schools have this age-appropriate physical equipment for the physical development, which is very, very important domain of child development. तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप अपना प्ले एरिया इम्प्रूव करें and install age-appropriate ऐसा physical का equipment जो कि बच्चों की physical growth को nourish करे. Then another aspect is that we want the children, because this world is a digital world, right? So आपके digital resources जो हैं वो बहुत सारे अच्छे private schools में install उन्होंने किए हैं या वो sharing पर हैं, whatever. But we want you people, and हमारे भी APSs में बहुत सारे अच्छे APSs हैं in Pindi, in Lahore, in Karachi, in big cities, where the formation is providing smart boards. But we want all the schools to at least जहाँ पे भी उनको इस तरह के resources they can tap, they should be made available for the children. Last but not the least, we want you to take the parents on board. And आपको मुझे पता है आपके parents are the big stakeholder जो कि बहुत pressurize आपको करते हैं. Sometimes some parents who are more concerned about the grades, who are more concerned about the marks, and we are doing away with that. And so we want you to conduct such awareness sessions continuously. At the start of the academic session, it would be very valuable. In the mid of the session, भी आप कर सकते हैं. Wherever you get space, you must conduct these awareness sessions for the parents to make them realize the importance of early years, because early years is the foundation step for the later learning. तो ये भी आपकी recommendations में one of the point is that you have to conduct these sessions. Next, please. Now, what type of initiatives we are taking to curtail academic burden on preschool? सबसे पहले तो हमने अपने SOWs में, if you have gone through the SOWs in detail, you must have observed that there are a lot of activities being inserted in the SOWs for the teachers. Beside that I said earlier, you are free to go ahead with certain activities जो आप समझती हैं as a teacher, इसके अलावा भी आप करवा सकती हैं. And those have added benefit to the student. Then second thing that we have done is that we have revised the time slots. Time slots पे जरा click करें. ये आपके उसमें आए हुए हैं, management facilitation guidebook में भी आए हुए हैं. So I'll just scroll through. इसको स्क्रॉल करें. ये टाइम स्लॉट्स हमने सैंपल हम पहले भी भेजते थे, अभी हमने इसमें थोड़ी सी, इसको थोड़ी देर रुकें, इसमें हमने थोड़ी सी अमेंडमेंट की है. लाइक वी हैव, आपको नजर आ रहा होगा, वी हैव केप्ट द क्लीन अप टाइम एट द एंड बिकॉज वी वांट द चिल्ड्रन टू लर्न दिस स्किल. हम चाहते हैं कि बच्चों को रिस्पॉन्सिबल बनाएं, क्लेanलीनेस का, अपनी सराउंडिंग्स का. देन वी हैव थोड़ा सा टाइम हमने जो है वो आउटडोर प्ले का और इंक्रीज किया है. और this is just a sample, right? You can amend it according to your ease, but कोशिश कीजिएगा कि ड्यूरेशन वही रहे जो हमने एक्टिविटी की दी है. यानी कि आप अगर आपका जो आउटडोर प्ले का टाइम है उसको कम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. लंच ब्रेक का जो टाइम है, टेबल मैनर्स का इसमें हमने ऐड किया है. So try to follow these things and you will find a good change in children. नेक्स्ट नीचे जाएं जरा। प्री वन में बहुत बड़ा चेंज आपको नजर आ रहा होगा, that we have gotten rid of the allotted periods. Instead, we have allocated the time slots as we allocated in early year stage 1 and stage 2. तो यहाँ पे अच्छा थोड़ा सा आपको SOW जो प्री वन के आपके पास गए हैं उसमें शायद 7 लिखा हुआ है टाइम स्लॉट फॉर इंग्लिश मैथ्स, बट एक्चुअली अगर आप इसको फॉलो करें तो 5 बनते, तो आप उसको अमेंड कर सकते हैं। मैं पहले ही बता देती हूँ कि वहां पे बाय मिस्टेक जो है वो 7 चला गया। सो इसको देखते हुए आप यहाँ से देखिए कि हमने कितने स्लॉट्स दिए वीक में, इंग्लिश को, मैथ्स को, उर्दू को, बाकी ये जो कोर सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, बाकी तो आपके जो हैं वो उस तरह से ठीक हैं। जो आपके इनफॉर्मल जो प्रैक्टिसेस हैं, रूटीन प्रैक्टिसेस, उनके तो वैसे ही हैं। ठीक है, तो इसको आप बेशक कर लीजिएगा। वापस जाएं स्लाइड पे। Okay, so time slots have been revised to accommodate play-based learning. Then essential guidelines we have given in the SOW as well for play-based learning. वो आपने पढ़ी होंगी, अगर नहीं पढ़ी हैं, please go through them. How you can ensure a play-based learning environment in class. Then इसका reference मैंने यहाँ पे early years manual का इसलिए दिया है क्योंकि वहाँ पे और डिटेल में हमने बहुत सारी चीजें जो हैं वो डाली हैं। एंड अर्ली इयर्स मैनुअल विल बी अवेलेबल ऑन द वेबसाइट, मे बी नेक्स्ट वीक, बाय नेक्स्ट वीक इट विल बी अपलोडेड। और इसमें जो है वो हमने इसको रिप्लेस जो आपकी जो बहुत पहले से यू हैव बीन यूजिंग द टीचर्स गाइड, दैट हैज बीन डन अवे विद, और उसकी जो चीजें हैं वो भी इसमें डल गई हैं। और इसमें बहुत सारी नई चीजें हैं, बहुत आपके लिए नॉलेज बेस्ड इसमें व्हाट इज द अर्ली इयर्स एजुकेशन क्या होती है, अर्ली चाइल्डहुड डेवलपमेंट क्या होती है, उसके डिफरेंट डोमेन्स क्या हैं, हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू नर्चर दोज डोमेन्स, ये सब उसमें है। और आपकी एक बुकलेट होती थी जो गाइडलाइंस फॉर द एस्टेब्लिशमेंट ऑफ प्री स्कूल थी, उसको ही हमने चेंज करके, रिवाइज करके, बेहतर करके उसको अर्ली इयर्स मैनुअल का, तो आपके लिए रेडी रेफरेंस है फॉर यू ऑल, right? Anything that you want to consult, any ambiguity, even the raw teachers can get educated through this manual. Then reduced textbook size हमने किया for cost reduction. EYS2 की all subjects की हमने practice pages जो हैं वो हमने remove करा दिए, because we had been getting this feedback from the officers, from the GHQ, from the parents, from all quarters, that the textbooks are very heavy, the children are very small, they are carrying the textbooks home because उसमें workbook के pages होते थे, फिर वो टीचर जब घर के लिए काम देती थी तो वो भी वो लेके जाते थे, they were carrying those notebooks, workbooks to home and bringing it back to school, तो वो उनके लिए बहुत बर्डन था। दूसरा फैक्टर ये था कि कॉस्ट, आपको पता है इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से बहुत ऊपर जा रही थी, उसके लिए भी हमने उसको रिड्यूस किया। तो दोनों हमारे जो पॉइंट्स थे बैग रिडक्शन का और इसका कॉस्ट रिडक्शन का, ये दोनों पॉइंट्स इसमें एड्रेस हुए। देन प्री स्कूल की बैग पॉलिसी का लेटर हमने भेजा हुआ है, चिल्ड्रन आर नॉट गोइंग टू कैरी एनी बुक्स टू स्कूल। Again, I'm repeating, they are not going to carry any books to school. The schools will ensure storage facility in classrooms. और इसको भी हम एक इंडिकेटर डलवा रहे हैं evaluation form में, so that schools do follow. I know that I'm talking out of my experience that जो चीज हम evaluate करते हैं उसके ऊपर फिर implementation हो जाती है। सो आपके पिजन होल्स आप बनवा लें, कोई मसला नहीं है, बहुत सारे स्कूलों में बहुत अच्छी स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी है, एंड आई हैव सीन दैट दे कीप द नोटबुक्स और या द वर्कबुक्स इन द स्कूल, राइट? तो उसमें होमवर्क हमने खत्म कर दिया न्यू होमवर्क पॉलिसी में, नो होमवर्क इज गिवन टू बी गिवन टू द प्री स्कूल चिल्ड्रन, राइट? सो उसकी बजाय मोर फोकस शुड बी on developing students' life skills and less on written work. You know, सबसे पहला जो मैंने आपको बताया, that was कि you have to create literacy center in your class. Why? Because we want the children to enhance their communication in English, communication confidence, right? यहाँ पे हमारे APS, when the officers they compare the children, and all the time we have to hear this कि जी आपका बच्चा जो है वो बहुत शाय है, वो बोलता नहीं है, वो इंग्लिश नहीं में बात नहीं कर सकता, वो एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर सकता, because the teachers are all the time, and we have seen that you are all the time focusing on the written work. So written work को हमने कम किया है, and then we have given you space, because ये हम teachers के point of view से भी बात कर रहे हैं. Whenever we used to talk to the teachers in the training sessions, during the evaluation, they used to tell us कि मैडम इतना लिखने का काम है, मैडम मैं क्या करूं, मैं तो एक्टिविटी नहीं करा सकती, हमारे पास इतना टाइम ही नहीं होता है, इट्स टू मच वर्क. उर्दू का तो बहुत आता था, टू मच वर्क है जी, टू मच रिटन है. तो इसलिए अब हमने प्रैक्टिस पेजेस खत्म कर दिए, सिर्फ एक नोटबुक का पेज है जो आपने करवाना होगा. बच्चों की राइटिंग पे इतना ज्यादा फोकस ना करें, बिकॉज देखें बड़े होके अब तो वैसे भी राइटिंग ऑब्सोलीट होती जा रही है. चिल्ड्रन आर गोइंग टू टाइपिंग वो सीख लेगा, ठीक है. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि उनकी फॉर्मेशन ना बनाए, उनकी बिल्कुल पेंसिल ग्रिप ना बनाए, लेकिन उनको कम काम कराए. डोंट ओवरबर्डन देम, make them learn, make them express themselves, express their ideas, make them confident, give them life skills, right? And last but not the least, no formal assessment. And assessment examination department is going to apprise you of the details of कि आपने assessment अगर formal नहीं है तो फिर आपने बच्चे को किस तरह से assess करना है, because assess तो करना ही है, informally करना है. Then there is a change in the lesson planner folder, वो भी हमने अपलोड कर दिया है. उसके ऊपर भी हम आपको डिटेल जो ओरिएंटेशन होगी in the coming days. करिकुलम डिपार्टमेंट 1 ऑनवर्ड्स जो प्लानर में चेंजेस आई हैं और जो प्री स्कूल में आई हैं. प्री स्कूल में कुछ चीजें हमने निकाल दी हैं, कुछ चीजें हम जैसे EPL सेंसोरियल का जो था, टीचर्स यूज्ड टू राइट इन द सेम फॉर्मेट, तो वो क्योंकि मॉन्टेसरी मेथड से लिखना होता है, उसकी सारी जो है एसेंशियल्स वो अलग होते हैं, तो उसका टेम्पलेट हमने एक नया डाल दिया, राइट? और उसमें कोई ऐसा कोई बिग चेंज नहीं है. यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट.
We will start with the academic package. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the session. I'm Asmara Sateh from Exam Department. We will start with the academic package 2024-25. Let's have a look. We have already shared this with you. For IS1, informal child observation register has been discontinued for all the 3 levels. And child development record, that is called CDR, that is the same in early year stage 1 and stage 2. And student profile is also the same, only there is one thing which has been added to it, that is feed forward. I will describe it later. Okay. Now we will go to IS2, early year stage 2, with child development record. There is another record sheet that is called tracking sheet, which you have been doing last year as well. You are going to do it in the same way. And for the student profile, there is an addition of feed forward beside feedback remarks. Then we come to pre-1.
Yes. The important thing is that informal child observation register, that is COR, has been discontinued on the request received from the regions, from the teachers. Initially, it was maintained in a formal way. Proper record was maintained. Teacher was supposed to write the remarks in the child observation register. Section head was supposed to check it, and afterward it was shared with the parents during the PTM. However, during evaluations, we observed that a lot of grammatical mistakes, syntax errors were there, and sometimes section head has not even checked the remarks, and they were shared with the parents. So it was converted into an informal child observation register. That is any register, any copy, any document on which you can record the findings of the child. You have to observe it on a daily basis, note down the points, and whenever you are going to fill out the CDR forma, you are going to refer to all these observations that you have recorded informally. It was called informal because it was a transitional stage between the formal to the one totally being discontinued. So इसलिए हमने इसको informal एक साल बीच में रखा था. नाउ दे आर डिसकंटिन्यूड। डिसकंटिन्यूड का मतलब ये है कि फॉर्मल रिकॉर्ड किसी किस्म का मेंटेन नहीं कर रहा।
और चाइल्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन रजिस्टर,
चाइल्ड ऑब्जर्वेशन रजिस्टर। अब उसमें आपका इवैल्यूएशन टीम भी जो आएगी तो वो आपसे कोई रिकॉर्ड के लिए ये नहीं मांगेगी कि हमें दिखाएं जहाँ पे आप इसका रिकॉर्ड का मेंटेन कर रहे थे या किधर लिखा है या सिंटैक्स एरर की बेस के ऊपर आपको नहीं करेंगे। हाउएवर अगेन इट इज रिकमेंडेड कि डे एंड तक या मंथ एंड तक या 2 महीनों के बाद तक आपके जहन में सारी ऑब्जर्वेशंस नहीं रहेंगी। ठीक है, मुश्किल हो जाता है हर बच्चे की हर ऑब्जर्वेशन को जहन में रखना। So even if you want to utilize the already existing child observation register, whether formal or informal, or you want to record it in any other formal way, you can always do that. हमारी तरफ से कोई पाबंदी नहीं है, लेकिन ये कोई फॉर्मल अब नहीं रहा रजिस्टर। ठीक है, हमें 1-2 स्कूलों ने अप्रोच किया कि अगर हम इसको कंटिन्यू करना चाहें तो अगर आप करना चाहते हैं, आपको बर्डन नहीं लगता, आपके वर्कलोड पे प्रॉब्लम नहीं आता, तो प्लीज डू कंटिन्यू।
सेम विद चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट रिकॉर्ड, क्योंकि ये आपने फिल करना होगा ऑन AIS आफ्टर अ मंथ. So remembering all the remarks and with 40 children, I don't think it's easy to do. So you can keep that hard copy of child development record and do it after your first group is over. आपने एक पूरे ग्रुप को ऑब्जर्व कर लिया, उसके जितने इंडिकेटर्स आप ऑब्जर्व कर चुके हैं, यू फिल देम देयर एंड देन, एंड आफ्टर अ मंथ यू फिल इट ऑन AIS पे जो आपका CTR है. But it is an optional. अगर आप नहीं करना चाहते, it's okay. It's fine with us.
You can always use a soft copy. आपने अगर CDR को अपने पास डाउनलोड करके रखा हुआ है child wise, so you can always enter the remark कि अपने पास छोटे-छोटे नोट्स उसी CDR वाले डॉक्यूमेंट के ऊपर आप नोट कर सकते हैं, ताकि once at the end of the month जब आपने उस पे ग्रेडिंग करनी हो तो एटलीस्ट बच्चे का कोई ना कोई नोट आपके पास वहाँ पे फुटर में मौजूद हो, नोट्स में आपके पास मौजूद हो। ठीक है, so it is totally your strategy. हम आपको बाउंड नहीं करेंगे किसी भी किस्म के लिए, बट सॉफ्ट कॉपी पे एवरी मंथ पे बेसिस के ऊपर रिकॉर्ड होना मैंडेटरी है।
And now in pre-1 we have changed a few things. First of all, the child observation register, I have already told you, it has been discontinued completely in all levels. Then there is child development record. Last year, it had academics as well as non-academic domains, but from this year onwards, there are only non-academic domains in the child development record, and all the academic domains and its indicators have been shifted to a tracking sheet. We have developed a new tracking sheet that is SLO based for Urdu, English and Maths, world around us, that have been developed, and all the academic indicators and domains have been included in the tracking sheet. Then we come to the student profile. It's in the same way you are going to write in a narrative form, and you know it has two components, academic and personality development. And feedback you are already writing. There is another addition to it, that is feed forward. Feed forward means that any suggestion, any recommendation you want to give to your parents, do give it. Okay, you have to give it now. Okay.
So one more thing, as far as the point 4 of pre-1 is concerned, that is the academic progress record tracking sheets for the given subject. We initially developed the tracking sheet of Islamiyat, but according to the SLOs, only 3 to 4 SLOs fall under the domain of Islamiyat. And all these domains were related to the personality and social skill development of a child. ठीक है, वो उसकी इखलाकियात से related ज़्यादा थे as compared to that of particular in a subject. तो फिर हमने जब later on इसको finalize वाली stage पे जब हम पहुंचे, तो what we did was कि we shifted the Islamiyat SLOs with the child development record under the heading of non-academic domains. ठीक है, personality के अंदर हम उनको ले आए हैं। अब इस्लामियात की अलग से कोई SLO based tracking sheet नहीं है। Tracking sheet pre-1 में 4 subjects के लिए, that is English, Urdu, Maths and वक्फियत-ए-आमा। ठीक है, इस्लामियात के indicators move हो गए हैं towards CDR। ये आगे हम आपको जब अभी नेक्स्ट ईयर दिखाएंगे तो ये हम आपको वहां पर इंडिकेट करके भी बता देंगे कि कौन से इंडिकेटर्स ऐसे थे जो इस्लामियात में फॉल करते थे, बट दे वर रिलेटेड टू दैट अखलाकियात एंड तरबियत वैल्यूज पे थे, सो वो पर्सनालिटी,
वो ऑलरेडी आपकी जो सोशल इमोशनल पर्सनल स्किल्स हैं वो ऑलरेडी उनके अंदर इनकॉर्पोरेटेड है. दैट्स व्हाई वो रेपिटेशन हो रहा था, तो दैट्स व्हाई वी डिड नॉट included in tracking sheet. और इसके सिर्फ 3-4 पॉइंट्स थे, तो उसको हमने उसको भी शिफ्ट कर दिया है CTR में.
नेक्स्ट
Yes. Yes. National Assessment Framework of Preschool says that assessment does not have to be a test. As you always do, you can, the teacher should observe the child during when she's taking or conducting any activities in the school, and then she can write her record of her observations later on. So keeping this point in mind and to align it with National Assessment Framework, we have discontinued checkpoints, and now there will be no checkpoints in pre-1.
तो अभी जो ये pre-1 में हमने CPs खत्म किया है वो basically the mandate, it is the mandate of the National Assessment Framework. अब ये National Assessment Framework क्या है? National Assessment Framework is the policy guidelines, or it is a basic structure or a framework of assessment that has been spelled out by the National Curriculum Council. Once you go to the website, that is ncc.gov.pk, वहां पर जाकर once you will enter जो early years education का part है, once you click that, so you will find a booklet like something like this. मैं भी आपको वो booklet भी दिखा देती हूँ, which have got complete guidelines related to preschool policy matters. ठीक है? This is the early years educational and assessment framework, which has got a table of content comprising of 5 different chapters. ये 5 chapters हैं, in which chapter number 1 is very general, comprising of introduction to the quality of education, assessment framework, what are assessment and what is cyclic assessment. The chapter number 2 is basically dealing with the curriculum mapping and table of specification. एक sample मैं आपको भी दिखाऊंगी भी यहाँ पर. And actually, the important thing is chapter number 3 and chapter number 4. Chapter number 3 comprises of designing classroom assessment while not taking any formal test. So what is the assessment in early years education inside the classroom? How to engage a student or to track the progress of a child through checklist, portfolio and observations. These are almost the same things that you have already doing in class. And the fourth part is how to support teaching learning by providing constructive feedback. The feedback that is going to help out the child as well as the parent in improving his learning. ठीक है, वहां पे टीचर का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है चैप्टर नंबर 4 में, और इसी के अकॉर्डिंगली अब हमने बहुत सारी चेकलिस्ट और रिकॉर्ड शीट डेवलप की है हमने. ठीक है, the last chapter, that is chapter number 5, is about the post assessment, and it is about writing whatever you have observed in the academic and non-academic domains of a child. जैसे आप अभी स्टूडेंट प्रोफाइल लिख रहे हैं उससे रिलेटेड उन्होंने अपनी टर्मिनोलॉजीज में इन सारी चीजों को बताया that how to write a student progress report so that a teacher in the next class is going to identify the weak areas, the gray areas and the strengths of that child. तो उसी के अकॉर्डिंगली हमने रिजल्ट फॉर्मेट या रिपोर्टिंग फॉर्मेट ऑफ द प्रीस्कूल भी रिवाइज कर दिया ताकि सिर्फ आप बच्चे को एक फीडबैक ही ना दें उसके सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर, सब्जेक्ट मैटर पर, बल्कि उसको गोल्स भी प्रोवाइड करें. आप उसको वो एक्शन प्लान बताएं जिसके ऊपर अमल करते हुए वो अगर उसका कोई ग्रे एरिया है तो उसको अपनी स्ट्रेंथ में कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते. तो ये भी सारा अभी आपको आगे जिस वक्त हम एब्सेक्स की पॉलिसी की बात करेंगे तो ये आपको एक्सप्लेन करेंगे. सो वंस यू आर teaching inside your classroom and once you are assessing a child informally while teaching, आपने इस डॉक्यूमेंट को एक दफा go through जरूर करना है.
We were already doing most of these things. There are just few additions to it. So these are the National Assessment Framework जो है ये आपको 3 types of evaluation tools दे रहा है. जैसे first उन्होंने कहा है the checklist of children progress. We are using CDRs and tracking sheets, and we have added 3 more. So we will explain them to you, introduce these to you later. Then portfolio, we are already maintaining portfolios, but there is a little change in it. We have standardized it. And observation, that you are already doing. You are taking observations and you are writing your observation in the form of grades and narratives. So we go to the next slide.
This is the sample
of portfolios. You can take an idea or you can take the same, exactly the same sheets.
And these जो format हैं कि जो formats आपको दिखाए जा रहे हैं, they are added. This format is added in the assessment policy booklet. आपको ये बहुत जल्दी available हो जाएंगे. Plus soft copy will also be shared with you on your AIS so that you can download that, you can print that and use that in the portfolio जो आपका होगी file होगी. Now as far as portfolio file is concerned, Asmara आपको कुछ instructions देंगी. So section heads to please note these down because they are going to help you out while maintaining these portfolios.
Okay, now we recommend this kind of portfolio. It's a plastic packet. Most of the schools are using the same. You must have seen it.
Camera off.
They can
जी.
see. ना आ रहा होगा ना सर?
जी, जी.
हाँ. Can you see it? I hope. Okay, so it has a button in front of it, press button, and here you can paste this the printout, colored printout over here at the back, and you can calc it to keep it safe and neat and tidy. Okay, and in this you can keep all types of worksheets and other things which we are going to tell you later inside it. You can keep all record of the child in this portfolio. So we just wanted to standardize it because different schools were using different types of portfolios. Some were making with chart paper, some were using other box file type. So this packet, I think this will do well. It's a clear bag, yes. This is called a clear bag, right?
Second thing is that instead of asking a child to bring it by him or her own, it is recommended. मैं दोबारा से बात कर रही हूँ. It is recommended. हम suggest कर रहे हैं कि school administration to buy these clear files.
Now we'll go to APSEX preschool. APSEX preschool assessment policy document. This is the third chapter, and you can see the different. If you go now, the highlighted indicators. These are the new points which we have added. So we are going to discuss these points only. Okay, we have already told you that we are trying to align our assessment policy with national curriculum in Pakistan. So these are the different domains you can see. We are already working on it. So we have 3 stages. In earlier stage 1, we have 3 types of strategies which we are going to use to assess the progress of the student. That is child development record. It's the same. There is no a little change which I'll explain later. And hard copy of CDR is optional, as we have already told you. And then student profile, there's one addition, that is feed forward, and then we come to portfolio of children's work. This is a very important document. You have to keep all a collection of all children work in it, which can consist of artwork, literacy, numeracy, and artifact. That is, you are going to take the photographs of the children during activities are being conducted or different areas mein, and then keep them in the unka print nikal le, and then keep them in the child's portfolio.
अगर आप प्रिंट नहीं निकालना चाहते हैं या आपको लगता है कि इसके अंदर फाइनेंसेस इन्वॉल्व होंगे या आपको फाइनेंसेस सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकेंगे तो इन दैट केस यू कैन ऑलवेज मेंटेन द ई-बुक
photograph you have to take during the academic activities क्योंकि तरबियत प्रोग्राम की जो वैल्यूज पर और बाकी तरबियत प्रोग्राम की एक्टिविटीज है वो आप ऑलरेडी मेंटेन. Then we come to early year stage 2. It has 4 strategies. The same, the child development record. Then the tracking sheet is the same. Student profile is also the same. Then we come to the portfolio. It is also the same. Just you have to keep all types of whatever work they have done on the worksheets, the tracing they have done, drawings and colorings they have done. All worksheets should be placed in portfolio, but before putting them in the portfolio, they should be checked by you, dated by them. ठीक है? Checking और date के बगैर वो नहीं जाएंगी. Then we come to 3.1. Now in this level, there are few big changes. Like I have already told you that checkpoints जो हैं वो बिल्कुल खत्म कर दिए गए हैं. There are no more checkpoints. In child development record, there is a change. Non-academic development domains are in the child development record, and all the academic related domains have been shifted to tracking sheet. For that, we have developed tracking sheet for English, Urdu, Maths, and world around us. I will show you, then you will understand it clearly, more better. Then student profile, and then we come to portfolio. In the same way you are going to maintain portfolio, you have to place all the worksheets related to students' work, whatever they have drawn, colored, whatever you have done in artwork, on a loose sheet, everything will go in this portfolio, which will be shown to the parents on progress review sessions. That is embedded in tracking sheet. For Islamiyat के जो indicators हैं, I've already told you there were only 3 indicators which were different from personal, social, and emotional development. So that has also been added in the CDR. And
No change in the
no change in promotion detention policy. All students will be promoted to the next class. Now, these are the components of academic progress report. Which reports you are going to share with parents on progress review session? First of all, CDR, that will be on online. If you are maintaining hard copy, you don't have to show that to the parent. That is for your own record. And then the student profile, that is will be online or as well. Parents can view them at being at home. And hard copy will be, you will generate it, get a hard copy of it and put the hard copy in the dossier. And if the parents demand for it, you can then get it photocopied and give photocopy to the parents. Do not give the original copy to the parents. That should go in the dossier which the child will carry to the next class. Then earlier stage 2, tracking sheet, you are not doing on AIS. That is the hard copy you are going to maintain. Some schools are doing tracking sheet on AIS. They may continue with it. Then CDR online and student profile is online and hard copy. And then Pre-1 tracking sheet, which has been added from this year onwards. Then CDR and student profile, the same.
As far as tracking sheet is concerned, the hard copy of the tracking sheet is to be pasted on the notebooks of a child. Okay? The preferable mechanism is that you paste the tracking sheet of that particular subject at the end of the second last and the last page of the notebook. Or if you want, you can also paste it in the front, but that doesn't look good. So it is suggested that towards end isko paste करें and track the progress accordingly. जब आपका एक रुपए तहजी खत्म होता है, एक लेटर, एक अल्फाबेट खत्म होता है, उसके accordingly write the grade, track the progress. ठीक है? Second observation भी इसी तरह लें. इसी तरह Pre-1 में once the concept gets end or LO is completed, you fill it accordingly. तो ये आपका track चलता रहेगा and whenever copies will go with the child at home, the parent can always have a look at that and they can always see.
And please, when you paste these tracking sheets in the notebooks, paste them very carefully and neatly. They should not be hanging out of the. Then we come to the dossiers, student dossiers. These are not new thing for you. So for that, you can keep e-dossiers as well. What you are going to maintain in the student dossiers are CDRs, which is the soft copy, which you can keep it in e-dossiers. And then in the hard copies, you can keep student profile. You have to keep student profile. This go for all classes. Then achievement certificates you have to keep for all the classes. Guidelines for filling the child observations. Okay. First of all, you have to make a schedule at the beginning of the session. आपका session already शुरू हो चुका है. First week में आपने schedule को बनाना था, but now you can make it next week. अभी से आप कल ही इस पे meeting करें, discuss it with your teachers and section heads. You discuss with each other and make your schedules for observations जो आप बच्चों की groups में observations करते हैं. So according to that schedule, you have to observe the children. And now in the same way, like you were doing previously, you have to divide the class into 4 groups, and then you, according to the groups, you have to observe the children. To keep a proper track of the children, you have to put the date. You must write the date whenever you fill the tracking sheet. With that, you have to, when you have taken this observation. So you have to, in the hard copy only. Because it's not.
In the CDR, as you are maintaining the CDR in e-version, online करें, वहाँ date की ज़रूरत नहीं. लेकिन अगर आप CDR को hard copy में maintain करें, तो it is suggested कि वहाँ पे आप date mention कर दें जब आपने बच्चे को observe किया. Hard copy के case में, not in the case of soft copy. Rest
of the observations are these indicators are the same, which you are already working on them. When you get the assessment policy handbook, please go through them very carefully and follow them. You already know that there are 2 portions of it: academic development and personality development. And under each of them, there is a heading of feedback. You have to write what the child is doing in the class, what is his performance, how he's doing the work, and feed forward is that the suggestions and the narrative you have to give to the parents, just to improve the child performance in the class and to extend the child's learning. This is personality. All these points will help you in writing the narrative report. In pre-1, now we come to the tracking sheet, how you are going to fill the tracking sheet in pre-1. It's the same procedure which you are using in the early year stage 2. There are domains which are related to academic. You are going to paste this tracking sheet in the notebooks at the end of it, and so that just to keep parents aware how the child is doing working in the school. First, you have to observe the child performance throughout the time spent to complete the topic. At the end of the concept, the topic, whichever topic you are doing, when you have completed it, after that you are going to fill that track. The grading key is given on top of the tracking sheet. You have to follow that tracking sheet, grading key. Now, these are the specific guidelines, instructions for recording morning meeting, learning center, play-based, and story time, that library in pre-1. This is a new thing which we have introduced. These are the different checklists you have to fill once in the last 2 months of each term. You are going to observe them throughout the term. First 2 months will not be used for recording, that is just for observations. In the last 2 months of each term, you are going to fill these checklists. And if you see the child which has been observed in the very beginning of the session, in the very beginning of these 2 months, and you see that the child has improved by the end of that term, you can change, revise his grade. If you see the child has improved, and maybe in the beginning he got 5 B grade, and by the end of the end of the term, the child has shown improvement. So at that time, you can change its grade. Now, there are few more changes, addition to the policy, that is diagnostic worksheets. These you have to prepare for early year stage 2 and pre-1. These diagnostic worksheets should be designed according to the work they have done in the previous class at the end of the year. Those concepts which are very important and which were done by the children at the end of the last year, they should be used in these worksheets just to understand, just to check how much they know about the concept and where the students stand. One worksheet for each core subject, English, Urdu, and Maths, you have to develop. And this has to be taken during the first week of new academic session. Now, your academic section has already started, so you can have it in the second week of next week. You can have these worksheets.
But these are not the assessment tools. ठीक है, ये वो नहीं है जिसके ऊपर आपने grading करनी है या बच्चे को judge करना है. No, this is for designing, revamping, or re-evaluating your own teaching strategies that you have to implement inside the class. और ये सिर्फ साल में एक ही बार होगी. That is at the start of the academic session. One sheet for one subject once in a whole academic session. ये बार-बार होने वाली चीज नहीं है. ठीक है, तो इसको आपने ये नहीं कहना कि core assessment add हो गई है. Add कुछ नहीं हुआ. ये सिर्फ एक informal way to gauge where does a child stands right at the moment and what do you have to do in order to make it to the desired level. So ये आपकी अपनी प्लानिंग के लिए है, डायग्नोज करना है, जैसे डॉक्टर के पास जाके डायग्नोज कराते हैं कि प्रॉब्लम क्या है और उस प्रॉब्लम के अकॉर्डिंगली क्या करना होगा. तो ये आपके लिए एक टूल होगा, बच्चे का इसमें कोई इस तरह का दखल नहीं है.
Samples are there, I will show you later, and you have to check them, you have to write the feedback on it. आपकी क्या observation थी, you have to write it down, and then you have to keep it in the child's portfolio. Then we come to the next worksheets. These are called subject-specific worksheets. These have to be developed in the 2nd and the 4th month of each term. 2 worksheets for each subject in first term and 2 in the 2 in the second term, in the second week, in the second month and in the 4th month of each term, right?
Just to track that where does a child stand at the moment.
But you are not going to give any marks or grade on it. Only the feedback will be given. I will show you the pattern of it, sample.
And these worksheets are to be placed inside the portfolio.
Yes. And you are going to show that in to the parents in progress review session.
Now coming towards this part, which is the feedback. आपको जो हमने feed forward का concept is defined reduce कराया है, थोड़ी सी guidelines related to that. It is very important. अभी तक हम feedback तो देते आ रहे थे, but feed forward was missing. So how to give that feed forward? दे आप अभी भी रहे हैं, लेकिन इसको handle कैसे करना है? किस कॉलम में क्या बात आएगी और किस कॉलम में क्या चीज आपने देनी है? सिर्फ उसके related छोटी सी instructions हैं जो हमारा आपके साथ share करेंगी.
Like these are the subject specific remarks. आपका जो feedback है इसमें आप दे सकते हैं knows well about the use of full stop, right? But requires more handwriting practice. ये टीचर की ऑब्जर्वेशन है कि बच्चा फुल स्टॉप तो यूज कर रहा है लेकिन उसकी हैंडराइटिंग प्रैक्टिस में उसको और मेहनत की जरूरत है. So in this type of remarks you will give in the feedback, and in the feed forward, like you are giving a suggestion to the parent. Daily practice of taught concepts is suggested at home. कि बच्चे ने जो क्लास में पढ़ा है उसकी प्रैक्टिस घर में वो जरूर बच्चा अपने ओन पे करे. ये होमवर्क नहीं है, ठीक है? ये हम होमवर्क नहीं दे रहे, बट ये आप एक टीचर जो है वो पेरेंट को एक सजेशन दे रहे हैं कि अगर बच्चे को इम्प्रूव करने में सेक्शन हेड टीचर के साथ पेरेंट का भी कुछ रोल होना चाहिए और उसको बच्चे को क्लास में भी हम प्रैक्टिस करवा रहे हैं, आप उसकी घर में भी प्रैक्टिस कराएं. इन द सेम वे रीड्स वेल एंड फ्लुएंटली, शोइंग अ गुड वोकैबुलरी नॉलेज, दैट इज फीडबैक. And in the feed forward, reading of different short stories can enhance her reading skills. यानी बच्चा जो है घर में भी अगर पेरेंट उसके साथ बैठे और उसको डिफरेंट बुक्स से रीडिंग कराने की कोशिश करे तो this will help the child to improve his reading skills. Then now in English, in Urdu, साफ और खुशखत लिखाई के साथ उम्दा काम पेश करते या करती हैं और उसके साथ आप फीड फॉरवर्ड में दे सकते हैं लफ्जों की बनावट में महारत की जरूरत है. इस किस्म के जुमले आप फीड फॉरवर्ड में देंगे जैसे मैंने अभी पढ़ा है, लफ्जों की बनावट में महारत की जरूरत है, यानी घर में भी उसकी बनावट पे मेहनत करें. ये pre-1 के लिए हो जाएगा. Then we come to maths. Has increased confidence in his abilities and has made good progress in all areas of maths. ये आपका आ गया feedback in academics, and then must continue to work hard on the whatever fact. कोई ऐसा fact है जिसमें आप देख रहे हैं कि बच्चा काम अच्छा कर रहा है लेकिन अभी इसको और मेहनत की जरूरत है, तो उसमें थोड़ा सा हम इस तरह करके लिख देते हैं just to encourage the child that he is working hard, so he should continue to work hard on that specific area so that the speed and accuracy of his mental calculation, whatever you want to write after that. And so in the same way, you are going to write about world around us, Islamiyat. You must give this type of all these feedback. These points will help you in writing student profile. Okay. You have no more progress support, so yeah, you can use them in the student profile for academics and non-academics. Now these are the significant changes. Now there will be no checkpoints, you know that. Tracking sheet, there are 2 tracking sheets, one for IS2 and one for pre-1. Then records of morning meetings, story time and learning center you have to maintain. Then diagnostic worksheets you have to prepare in the very beginning of the session. Then on this side, child observation schedule you have to make before the session starts. For first term and for the second term, you will make the schedule before the second session starts and the second term starts, and then portfolio. Now these are the CDRs, no change in the indicators, but there will be only 2 rounds. Round 1 that will be completed in first 2 months. And then round 2. So what you have to do is, in the same way last year आप जैसे कर रहे थे, you have to divide all the indicators into 2 halves. First half के जो round 1 के लिए आपने जो select करने हैं, only on those indicators you will work, you will observe, and complete them before the first progress review session जो आपका होगा PTM, और second PTM से पहले आपने बाकी के जो आपके रह गए होंगे, you have to complete it before the first term ends. This CDR is only for first term. For the second term, you will get it soon. And this is for stage 2. Again, there is no change, but round 1 and round 2. Till last year, you were filling it 4 times. This time, you are going to fill it 2 times. So you have plenty of time. 2 months for the whole round, whole class. And then 2 months, whole 2 months for the whole class. Now, in tracking sheet for early year stage 2, there is a little change in key. Beyond expected level is now A+. At expected level is A. Working towards expected level, that is an average student, is B, and needs attention is C, the child who needs your focused attention. First attempt and improvement is still there. In the same way, English and maths. And now we come to pre-1. It's in the same way, round 1 and round 2. Only these last 3 indicators have been added to it from Islamiyat portion. अब इसमें देखें इस्लामियात के कितने जो points इसी में आ रहे थे, जैसे follows rules and routines. हम इस्लामियात में भी बच्चों को कहते हैं कि आपने जो आपके रूल्स हैं आपने उनको फॉलो करना है. इन द सेम वे और भी बहुत से हैं. शोज एम्पैथेटिक, केयरिंग बिहेवियर इन रिस्पॉन्स टू अदर पॉजिटिवली, कर्टसी वर्ड्स का यूज करना, कॉपरेशन, रिस्पेक्ट्स अदर्स, पेयर्स की, अपने एल्डर्स की रिस्पेक्ट करना, और भी इस तरह के पॉइंट्स हैं. तो ये दे वर ऑलरेडी देयर. सो हमने ये सोचा बजाय कि हम उनको रिपीट करें, हमने इसको उसके जो मेन 3 पॉइंट्स थे हमने यहीं पे उनको इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिया. And other points are the same. They are all SOW based. आपके SOW से लिए गए हैं. Now, वो जो थे वो सारे non-academic points थे. In the tracking sheet for pre-1, all academic related SLO based जो आपके indicators थे, all are over here. First is हम अगर English की बात करें, listening and speaking, listens with understanding, speaks and responds. All these indicators are related to speaking and listening. So after taking 3-4 observations, you are going to fill the first observation, not on the very first observation. जब आप समझते हो कि अब मैंने बच्चे को काफी ऑब्जर्व कर लिया है, मैंने इस बच्चे की इम्प्रूवमेंट के लिए बहुत काम कर लिया है, आफ्टर दैट यू आर गोइंग टू फिल इन. ठीक है. एंड आपका रोल भी इसमें कुछ होना चाहिए कि आपने बच्चे पे क्या मेहनत की और उसको इम्प्रूव करवाया.
Another thing is that you have to consider the scheme of work, the instructions in the scheme of work as well. Say for example, अगर मैं writing की बात करती हूँ, तो आपके पास हो सकता है use of capital letters comes before writing the consonant or vowel like things. ठीक है. तो वो अगर पहले आ रहा है तो आप उसकी assessment या उसकी observation पहले ले लेंगे. ठीक है. Sequence can be anyway, like हाँ जी, change हो सकता है. हमने आपके लिए हर वो चीज डाल दी है जो scheme of work और given LOs के accordingly है. Sequence we have to follow as per the instructions given in the scheme of work.
बिल्कुल. और ये आपने तभी फिल करना है जब आपने उसको ऑब्जर्व कर लिया है. उससे पहले उसको फिल नहीं करना. जो आप फर्स्ट टर्म के फर्स्ट राउंड में कर चुके हैं, सिर्फ वो फिल होंगे जो आपने प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू सेशन में पेरेंट्स को दिखाना है. आपने उनको फिल नहीं करना जो आपने अभी पढ़ाया ही नहीं है. क्योंकि लास्ट ईयर तक ये मैं देख रही थी कि CDR में वो वाले एरियाज फिल हो रहे थे जो अभी पढ़ाए नहीं गए. तो पढ़ाए बगैर आपने इसको फिल नहीं करना. आप पढ़ाएंगे तो ऑब्जर्व करेंगे ना. तो पहले पढ़ाएं, उसको 3-4 उसकी ऑब्जर्वेशंस करें, उसके बाद इसको आप फिल करेंगे. एंड सेकंड ऑब्जर्वेशन इज नीड बेस्ड. अगर कोई बच्चा पहले वीक था और उसने इम्प्रूवमेंट दिखाई है, देन यू फिल इट. Otherwise, the child is getting A or A+, there is no need to write it again. ठीक है. उसकी ऑब्जर्वेशन आपको दोबारा लेते रहते हैं ऑटोमेटिकली. आपकी डेली आप ऑब्जर्वेशन आपकी हो रही होती है, लेकिन इसकी फिलिंग जो करनी है आपने रिकॉर्ड की, वो आपने तब करनी है अगर आप उस बच्चे में कोई ड्रास्टिक चेंज और बहुत एक प्रोमिनेंट इम्प्रूवमेंट देखते हैं. देन यू हैव टू फिल इट.
Similarly,
B या C हो तो इम्प्रूवमेंट करनी.
हाँ, करनी ही करनी है.
LRL के ऊपर काम करके and then they have to write.
बिल्कुल.
similarly it is for Urdu. इसमें जो जितनी भी skills involved है, सुनना, बोलना, बुलंद खानी, तहरीरी महारत, हर एक के accordingly LOs का चार्ट हमने डेवलप कर दिया है. ये सारी चीजें वो हैं जो कि नेशनल करिकुलम के अकॉर्डिंगली इस एज पर हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं बच्चे से कि वो कर लेगा। प्लस इसी के ऊपर बेस करके तमाम बुक्स डेवलप हुई हैं और इसी से रिलेटेड इंस्ट्रक्शंस आपके स्कीम ऑफ वर्क में भी हैं। सो एवरीथिंग इज देयर अलाइंड विद ईच अदर। ऐसा नहीं है कि
अलाइंड है आपके SLW से। अब देखिए इसमें पहला पॉइंट ही तहरीरी में आपका है अपना मुकम्मल नाम लिखना। अब बच्चे को आपने समझे दूसरे हफ्ते से उसका नाम लिखना सिखाना शुरू किया है, तो आप पहली ही दिन नहीं उसके लिए ऑब्जर्वेशन लिख देंगे। गिव द चाइल्ड सम टाइम, प्रैक्टिस दें और देखिए कि कब तक बच्चा वो लिखना अपना खुद से लिखना शुरू कर देता है। जैसे ही एक बच्चे ने लिख लिया, आपके 30 बच्चों में से एक बच्चा बहुत अच्छा लिख रहा है, उसने 1 महीने में सीख लिया है, आप उसको ग्रेड दे दें। और अगर एक नहीं लिख पा रहा तो उसका वेट करें, बिफोर प्रोग्रेस रिव्यू सेशन यू फिल इट, ताकि पेरेंट्स को आप बताएं कि इस वक्त बच्चा कहाँ पर खड़ा है, वो क्या क्या काम इस वक्त अपने ओन पे कर सकता है।
Similarly, it is there for mathematics. उसमें भी हमने दोनों skills, mental math और writing skills को as per the demand of the national curriculum, हमने वहां से सारे LOs को उठाकर उनका tracking sheet उनकी develop कर दी है। So as per the instructions and scheme of work, जहां पर एक LO complete होगा उसके accordingly आप उनकी observations ले लेंगे। Again, second observation is only for those
जिसके C ग्रेड या B ग्रेड आया है। अनदर थिंग मैं आपको एक और थोड़ा सा क्लियर कर दूं, जैसे कुछ पॉइंट्स आप देखिए, ड्रॉस 2D 3D शेप्स मैंने इकट्ठा दिया है। अगर तो आप 2D शेप पढ़ा चुके हैं और 3D पे अभी आप नहीं पहुंचे हैं, तो फर्स्ट ऑब्जर्वेशन जो होगी वो सिर्फ आपकी होगी 2D पर, ठीक है। और उसकी जब आप मे बी आपका 3D कुछ दिनों के बाद आ जाता है, 2 3 4 हफ्तों के बाद, तो 3D की बेशक आप ऑब्जर्वेशन जो है वो सेकंड ऑब्जर्वेशन में लिख लें, राइट? ऐसा आप करेंगे। इसी तरह आप और भी देखिए, सॉल्व्स एडिशन एंड सब्ट्रैक्शन प्रॉब्लम्स। हो सकता है कि अभी उन्होंने सब्ट्रैक्शन ना पढ़ा हो, खाली एडिशन पढ़ा हो, तो यू कैन फिल वन फर्स्ट that box for the addition and second box for subtraction, ऐसे भी कर सकते हैं आप, दोनों में नीड बेस पे।
इसी तरह आपके पास वर्ल्ड अराउंड अस का है जिसमें थीम बेस तमाम LOs के अकॉर्डिंगली ये ट्रैकिंग शीट डेवलप हो चुकी भी है। तो जब जब आप वो थीम पढ़ा रहे होंगे उस वीक में या उन वीक्स में उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आप बच्चे की करेंगे। यहाँ पे एक चीज जो नोट करनी है, वक्फियत आमा और इस्लामियात नहीं, वक्फियत आमा में हमने जस्ट एक ही ऑब्जर्वेशन रखी है, इसमें सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट की से नहीं हमने मार्जिन दिया, क्योंकि there are a lot of themes and a lot of indicators involved in world around us, so वो टीचर का वर्कलोड बहुत बढ़ जाएगा।
लेकिन स्टिल इफ यू फील लाइक, आप देखना, आप कहते हैं बच्चे को C मिला हुआ है, लेकिन इन रिवीजन वीक आपने वो जब टॉपिक को रिवाइज किया और आप देखते हो कि बच्चा इंप्रूवमेंट दिखाई है बच्चे ने, तो यू कैन ऑलवेज रिवाइज इट, ठीक है। इट्स अप टू यू, इट्स इन योर हैंड्स जी। नाउ वी कम टू द स्केड्यूल। दिस इज अ सैंपल स्केड्यूल, एज यू कैन सी। मैंने आपको फर्स्ट टर्म का ये एग्जांपल एक दी हुई है। यू हैव टू डिवाइड योर क्लास इनटू 4 ग्रुप्स, मे बी इफ यू हैव 32, ये मैंने आपको जस्ट एन एग्जांपल, आपके 40 भी हो सकते हैं, आपके स्टूडेंट 25 भी हो सकते हैं। सो अकॉर्डिंग टू योर क्लास स्ट्रेंथ आपने उसको 4 ग्रुप्स में डिवाइड किया। अकॉर्डिंग टू माय क्लास स्ट्रेंथ आई हैव डिवाइडेड इट इनटू 4 ग्रुप्स एंड 8 स्टूडेंट्स आई हैव गॉट इन ईच ग्रुप। सो आपने ग्रुप वाइज उन बच्चों के नाम लिखने हैं। और नीचे आप देखें तो स्केड्यूल फॉर चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट रिकॉर्ड, इसमें आपने उनको डेट्स देनी है कि किस डेट से किस डेट पे आपने किस ग्रुप को करना है ऑब्जर्व फॉर द चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट रिकॉर्ड, राइट? तो उन्हीं डेट्स में आपने, और कौन से एरियाज हैं वो आप पहले सेक्शन हेड के साथ आपका डिसाइड होगा कि आपने कौन से करने हैं, और उन्हीं एरियाज पे आप उन बच्चों को उस ग्रुप को ऑब्जर्व करके तो चाइल्ड डेवलपमेंट रिकॉर्ड को फिल करें। And please do not record any your observation in the first 2 weeks. बच्चों को settle down होने दें, and you can start your observations. You can start your writing your observations, filling CDR from the 2nd week. First May से आप on AIS fill करना शुरू कर सकते हैं from 2nd May. First is a holiday.
These are the same thing that we have already shown you. Now coming towards another important thing, that is the record of learning activities, which is the morning meeting, learning centers and libraries.
Morning meeting is for all the levels, right? So morning meeting आप रोज करवाते हैं, और pre-1 में morning meeting 2, इसमें ELD included है, ठीक है। आप ELD को भी इसमें include करेंगे for pre-1. There are only 2 times filling in it. That is first term observation and second term observation. Just once in the last 2 months of the term. ठीक है, in the first term observe, in the last 2 months आपने इसकी observation करनी है, जो उनकी उस वक्त observation होगी, latest उस वक्त observation, that you are going to fill over here. Grading की अगर आप देखें, it is different from tracking sheet and other CDR, that is emerging, developing and secure. ठीक है, और indicators you can see only there are 5 indicators. All these are related to our morning meeting. Then you have to write the feedback. These are in annexures. These are attached in annexures of assessment policy handbook. And then learning centers in all the classes, class and section you have to write the same grading key, and then you see all these indicators. First term observation, you have to write in the last 2 months of the term, and then second term, last 2 months of the session. And feedback for the first term and feedback for the second term. You can write suggestion for the parent as well for the very weak students. Then record of learning activities. ये कौन सा story time? This is for early year stage 2 क्योंकि उनका story time होता है. These indicators are related to that. And in the same way you are going to do it. Teacher feedback for first term and second term. Then we come to library, that is for pre-1 and indicators. Please go through them when you receive your assessment policy handbook. And in the same way, you are going to fill it. And these are the sample diagnostic worksheets for early year stage 2. I've gone through their books, and this is I thought that this is one of the important concepts, so I selected this one. You can select 2 concepts if you want to, okay? And then after doing that, you have to give a feedback. In the same way, you are going to do for the English for pre-1. This is the concept I thought should be checked, assessed, and this is for English. These are just samples. Here I have given 2 concepts and with your teacher feedback.